If you keep having the same fight in relationships, just with different words, this video is for you. One person wants to talk right now. The other pulls away. One feels ignored. The other feels pushed. And both people walk away thinking, why does this keep happening? The problem is usually not the last message, the last fight, or the last cold reply. The real problem is the pattern underneath it. And once you see that pattern, a lot of painful things start making sense. Very simply, this is what happens. The anxious person gets scared and moves closer. The avoidant person gets scared and moves away. That's the loop. One fears losing the bond. The other fears losing freedom inside the bond. So one reaches for more contact. The other reaches for more space. Same need underneath, safety. Different fear on top of it. John Bowlby, who started attachment theory, talked about how people need a secure base. That's what both people are looking for here. They just try to get it in opposite ways. Let's start with the anxious side. When this person feels distance, even small distance can feel huge. A slow reply feels big. A short reply feels big. A change in tone feels big. Silence feels even bigger. So they move toward contact. They text more. They ask what's wrong. They ask where things stand. They want clarity. They want reassurance. They want some sign that the bond is still there. Researchers describe this as a hyperactivating strategy. But in plain language, it just means this. When fear goes up, this person reaches harder for connection. From the inside, it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels urgent. Now the avoidance side. When this person feels too much emotional pressure, they start shutting down. Too many questions feels like pressure. Strong emotion feels like pressure. A hard conversation right now feels like pressure. So they move away from contact. They get quiet. They delay replying. They say they need space. Sometimes they act calm on the outside, but inside they're already gone. Researchers describe this as a deactivating strategy. Again, that sounds technical, but the meaning is simple. When fear goes up, this person pulls back to feel in control again. From the inside, it does not feel cold. It feels like survival. It feels like, I need room, or I'm going to shut down completely. Now put those two people together. The anxious person feels distance and moves closer. The avoidant person feels pressure and moves back. That distance scares the anxious person more, so they push more. That pressure overwhelms the avoidant person more, so they pull back more. And now the cycle is running by itself. Couples researchers have studied this for years. A lot of them call it a demand-withdraw pattern. One person pushes for contact. The other pulls away. And the painful part is this: each person becomes the other person's trigger. What calms one person activates the other. More closeness calms the anxious person but pressures the avoidant person. More space calms the avoidant person but scares the anxious person. That's why this dynamic feels intense, confusing, and exhausting at the same time. This is why very small moments can turn into very big fights. The anxious partner says, "Can we talk?" What they often mean is, "I feel scared. Please help me feel close again." But the avoidant partner may hear, "You're failing. You need to deal with this right now." Then the avoidant partner says, "I need space." What they often mean is, "I'm overloaded. Give me a little time." But the anxious partner may hear, "I don't care about you. I'm leaving." So the fight is not only about the words. It's about what the words mean inside each person. That's why these conversations feel so much bigger than the sentence itself. As Bessel van der Kolk said, feeling safe with other people is one of the deepest needs we have. And that's really what this fight is about, safety. Now here's where people usually make it worse. The anxious person keeps pushing when the other person is already shutting down. The avoidant person keeps going silent when the other person is already panicking. So both people double down on the exact move that hurts the other one most. The anxious person thinks, "If I stop now, I'll lose the connection." The avoidant person thinks, "If I stay now, I'll lose myself." Both feel trapped. Both feel misunderstood. And both think the other person is the problem. But a lot of the time, The real problem is the pattern neither person can see while they're inside it. So what do you do instead? Ask a better question. Not, who's right? Not, who started it? Ask, what is each person scared of right now? That question changes the whole conversation. Because now you stop judging the behavior and start seeing the fear under it. The anxious person is usually scared the bond is breaking. The avoidant person is usually scared they're getting overwhelmed. Once you see that, the fight becomes less personal and more clear. Here's the practical tool. Translate the behavior, then make one clear request. Translate first. Instead of saying, you're too much, say, I think you're scared we're not okay. Instead of saying, you're cold, say, I think you're overloaded and trying not to shut down. That already changes the tone. Then make one clear request. Not a long speech. Not 10 emotional paragraphs. One clear thing. For anxious people, vague comfort usually does not help. For avoidant people, vague space usually makes things worse. Clear beats vague. Every time. Here are simple examples. If you lean anxious, try this. I'm getting scared, and I need clarity. Can you tell me when we can talk? That works much better than sending 5 panic messages. If you lean avoidant, try this. I'm overwhelmed right now. I need 30 minutes, and then I'll come back. That works much better than disappearing and leaving the other person guessing. If you need space, say how long. If you need reassurance, ask for one clear thing. That's how people start feeling safer with each other. If this part is helpful, save this video. You'll want these words later. Healing this pattern does not mean the anxious person suddenly needs nothing. And it does not mean the avoidant person never needs space again. The real goal is simpler than that. When fear shows up, both people become more honest, more clear, and more predictable. Because predictable people feel safer. And safety changes the whole relationship. Tell me in the comments, when you feel threatened in love, do you move closer, move away, or both?